In today's video, we're talking about how publishers are realizing that no one wants to pay $70 for unoptimized games, and also a fallout effect from this is that it looks like Xbox and Valve are friends again. After that, we gotta pour one out for the physical Steam gift cards because scammers ruined it again. And finally, I played some cool stuff at Summer Game Fest, so I'll tell you what my favorite stuff was. How's it going, everyone? As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. I'm back in the basement. It is hot as hell on my second floor, so for the foreseeable future, I will be in my cold, dark basement. I hope you're having a great week playing a ton of video games, and I'm just gonna be straight with you guys. I wanna have a lot of subs on this channel. I know that the vast majority of people who watch this channel are not subscribed, so ball's in your court. I'm making the videos, you subscribe, set your notifications to all, everyone is happy. But with the intro out of the way, let's get into the first news story here because this is pretty interesting. So if you've been watching the channel since I started it almost 5 years ago, you'll know that one of my biggest points of complaint over the past 3 years or so has been performance in game. You'd pre-order a game you were excited for, you'd preload it, then at midnight when it unlocks, you'd boot it up and be like, man, now I got to play tech support for the next 5 hours because it's stuttering like crazy and changing the settings does nothing for performance. You go on the Steam forums, then you see some guy like, oh, it's running fine on my machine. And it's like, okay, what are your specs? Oh, you've got a 5090 and 9800 X3D. I guess I'll go walk on the freeway real quick with my 5070, which was a very expensive card and isn't that bad, but it doesn't run this game all that well. And then you know how it goes. You'd see the black square with the apology like, sorry, we didn't play our game before it came out, so we're going to work on it for 6 months, and then just to rub salt in the wound, we're going to charge $30 for it when it's finally fixed, and you'll look like a sucker for giving us $70 up front. You. And when it comes to the Steam Deck, it's like, yeah, it doesn't run well on a PC with a 5070, so this thing has no hope, right? Like, it's gonna explode if I try to boot this game up. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. That game was ridiculous on the Steam Deck for a PS2 game remake, so it's been a major sticking point for me for the past few years. Then we hit 2026 and seemingly everything changes. Like, Unreal Engine 5 works now. I've had multiple games that I've played on my Steam Deck from start to finish, like Lego Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight, and it's not even like I'm making huge sacrifices to get these games to run well. It's like 30 FPS on low, but Unreal Engine 5 looks good on low. Still stutters a little bit in the open world, but like so much better than this engine used to run. But now Xbox, who is like in a bitter war with Valve under Phil, with their new leadership, apparently is like, oh, most people on PC are playing on Steam, and we're not doing great right now. We've got a 3% profit margin, so it actually behooves us to support Steam players. And they're making some great moves. Like, they added in save transferring with the Xbox console. That's all I wanted. I love Xbox. My first console was an Xbox original. And it seems like Xbox is picking up on how poorly optimized games were and how fed up with it people who play on PC are, because if you check out the Steam page for Gears E-Day, there's a full 3-paragraph section all about optimization, and it gets good. So it says optimize to customize, enjoy a great experience on any setup with smooth performance across a wide range of hardware. Then the next section is advanced performance and graphics. Play up to crisp 4K Ultra HD with HDR10 and hardware ray trace lighting, reflections, and shadows. And then finally, handheld ready. They're stealing my name again. It's fine, you can use it. It says handheld ready and cross-platform play, fully optimized for handheld play on Steam Deck first, then Xbox Ally X and Xbox Ally devices. And then it says there's optional account linking for save transferring. They're doing it. This Unreal Engine 5 game that looks, graphically speaking, like one of the best games I've ever seen is advertising that they finished the game before it released. I think we won. We actually won. I mean, all bets are off until we actually get our hands on it, but I saw it running in real life and it was crisp. It was clean. There was no stuttering. There was no frame drops. It looked phenomenal running on an Xbox Series X. So I can only assume that if it's optimized for the Series X, it's going to be optimized for the Steam Deck. And that's great. And it's crazy that they have official hardware with the Ally X line and they're advertising the Steam Deck first because, you know, they're selling it on Steam. I love this. I love seeing this so much. It's just great to see them not only optimizing their games, but meeting players where they're at. Because, you know, if you're releasing your game on Steam, you should go through the effort to make it an optimal experience on Steam. It's really that simple. But that's not just a one-off, because another Unreal Engine 5 game that comes out in July is Halo Campaign Evolved, and they put out a trailer showing the cross-platform play, like cross-device play, and they clearly show the game running pretty dang good on a Steam Deck in that trailer. So when it comes to PC, I'm sure they'll continue updating Xbox mode, and I'm excited about that because I do have to have a Windows PC because of the multiplayer anti-cheat situation. So I'd prefer it be good. Like, I want everyone's experience to be good. I love console wars because of competition, but I don't want any of these companies to die. I don't want any of them to be hurt beyond repair, except maybe Epic Games. I'm joking. Am I though? I want everyone who's on a platform to be able to get a good experience out of it. And I also want these platforms to be healthy. So simultaneously, I feel like you got to have exclusive features and games. So like, yeah, when it comes to PC, it makes sense for Xbox to release on Steam right now. Could change in the future, but I like to see them kind of buddying up with Valve versus Nintendo or Sony. That was so weird. I was at Xbox's headquarters when I was working for Austin Evans. I got to go film a documentary where I interviewed a bunch of Xbox executives and then he hosted the video. And when we went to the interview room, a bunch of Nintendo executives walked out and I was like, that is weird. But yeah, it really does seem like devs are waking up to the fact that if a game runs like pure cheeks, no one's going to be happy to buy it for $70. So they're realizing that they need to take the extra step to advertise that their game is optimized and going to run well. And I'm impressed and shocked that Xbox is leading the charge on it. And I just hope that other publishers catch on. But moving on to the second news story here, I'm sure you've seen the news at this point that Valve is ending support for physical gift cards at the store. And this one cut deep, man. I remember on Christmas and my birthday and even my high school graduation, when you'd open a card from your grandma and then you'd like let the money or whatever was in it, this time being a Steam gift card, fall out, and you'd read the card and be like, wow, thanks. Like, I did that so much with Steam gift cards, and I would hoard them throughout the year because my birthday is in March, Christmas is in December. I'd ask for Steam gift cards for Christmas and my birthday. I'd throw them in a drawer and wait for the Steam summer sale because I was basically broke back then, and that was the best opportunity to save up, you know, and stretch my money to get a lot of games that I had on my wish list. So that was like a defining moment of me throughout both high school and college when I had no money. And so to see them kill off support for these really sucks, and they just straight up call out scammers. They're like, scammers have evolved. We have tried multiple ways to kind of stop this, and we're just giving in. So we're going to kill off the physical gift cards. But the consolation they have is that they allow guest checkout on Steam now, so you can still ask your grandma for Steam gift cards for Christmas. And then, you know, she'll have to go to Staples or Kinko's or whatever it's called now and print out a full sheet that's like $100 Steam gift card. And it's just not going to hit the same. And it's not just grandmas. Boomers are PC illiterate. Well, my dad especially is. Like, how many of them are going to look at, you know, your Christmas list and see Steam gift cards on there and just say that's too much effort and not buy it? It's like, I understand that, you know, games are becoming digital. Steam is an all digital platform, but that was like the one physical thing left. Like, down there on my shelf, I have a bunch of physical PC games that I bought when I got my first Windows PC, like Call of Duty Black Ops. And even though they're effectively just discs that activate a Steam code, it was awesome popping that disc into my PC and watching the game install itself off of a disc and seeing that go away. And now the physical gift cards, it really just bums me out. And I know a lot of other people were bummed too. I was talking to people on X about it and on Instagram. I'm Champagne Ready on Instagram if you want to check that out. But yeah, the scamming is just getting out of control. I don't understand why nothing can be done about this. It doesn't just affect gaming. It affects your parents. It affects your grandparents. The scams are out of control. They're using AI now to clone like your child's voice to make you like a call to your grandma that's like, Grandma, I'm in jail and I need you to go get $5,000 worth of Apple gift cards and read them to me over the phone to get me out of jail. And it's just like nothing's being done about it. And this is the result. The people who engage with the system correctly are punished for the actions of the scammers and the losers in the world. And that's just how it works, I guess. But yeah, it's not a great situation. And finally, to round out the video, I got to play some games at Summer Game Fest. And one thing I want to talk about is I went to one event called The Mix where there were a bunch of indie games. And I was blown away that out of like probably 20 or 30 TVs with computers set up to show off these indie games, probably about half of them had a Steam Deck right next to the TV running the games that you could play these games on. And I talked to a lot of developers, and a lot of them were bringing their actual Steam Decks that they use every day and showing off their games because they were excited to say that they were optimizing their games on Steam Deck. So I'm showing B-roll footage of a few of them right now with the names next to them so you know what game it is. But the craziest thing was when I'd ask the developers if these games were optimized for the deck, they would say it's close, but we're working on optimization. And I would be like, what's optimization in your opinion? And they're like, locked 90 FPS. Right now it's running at 60 just fine, but you have to frame rate limit it, and we want to take advantage of the full refresh rate. I was like, you're good, like do that. But if you're getting your indie game to run at 60 FPS, I mean, that is, as far as I'm concerned, completely optimized. And there were a couple that were, you know, pushing graphics a little bit, like this one I played, Erosion, which is a voxel-based roguelite where you're a cowboy in a future setting, and it's a twin stick shooter. But the twist is every time you die, the world advances 10 years, and you can actually game it. So like if you want to see how a level will change if you wait 10 years, you can just like kill yourself 3 times and advance the story forward. That one's voxel based, so he said it's running at 30 FPS on Steam Deck, and I was like, that's fine as long as it's a lock 30. I'm good with that, but you know, keep optimizing it. So even with the price hikes, devs are still targeting devices people already have, and there are a lot of Steam Decks out there. So I was just really impressed to see the level of support from all of these developers for this little Steam Deck that's going on 5 years old. So if you're worried about the Steam Deck not getting support, I mean, all these games are listed for the rest of 2026 going into 2027. And another game I saw was Valor Mortis, which is the new first-person Souls-like from the developers of Ghost Runner and Ghost Runner 2. And they were stoked to talk to me about the Steam Deck. And a lot of them wouldn't tell me straight up about the Steam Machine, but they just raised their eyebrows when I was like, how does it run? And they just nodded. So it looks like optimization for the Steam Machine is coming along well as well. As far as AAA stuff goes, I did get to see Code Veronica early, and that was awesome. They talked about how it's a third-person perspective, how they see this as a mainline Resident Evil game. One guy asked if the V that they focused on meant Resident Evil 5, and I've been thinking about that for like 4 days. It's like, how did you get there? Because in the timeline, Resident Evil Code Veronica is technically like the 4th Resident Evil, but really it's Resident Evil 3. So like, and 5 exists. So how did you get to 5 with the V? I don't know. Sorry if you're that guy. But I did get to go hands-on with a couple games, including Alien Isolation 2. Man, you guys know how much I love Alien Isolation, and this was impressive. Light spoilers for the first game, so skip ahead if you don't want to hear this, but one of the aliens that you encounter in the game, you get rid of him by putting him on an escape pod and trapping him in it and shooting it off to a distant planet. This new demo picks up with a crew on that planet, finding that ship and wanting to salvage it, and then the alien's in there and he's like, get the fuck out of here! The best thing I can say about it is that it's just more Alien Isolation. You have to hide, you're defenseless. It looks incredible. It's Unreal Engine 5. I thought it was sick that it took place on a planet that featured outdoor settings, and it's like a big forest in the middle of the night with crazy storms. Then you go on the ship and the aliens there, and there was a risk reward mechanic where you're in the center of the ship and then it gives you the objective to get out of the ship, and you can either sneak around and scavenge for parts and open a door that takes you right to the exit, or you can sneak the long way around in a hallway where the alien is. I did both routes. I succeeded because I play that first game a lot. I was really impressed with it, and I hope it doesn't take long to get out there. And at the Xbox event, I was really impressed with how many people just said, yeah, we love the Steam Deck, we love Steam. When I asked them, they were like, yeah, there's no beef or anything. That's the old regime. Moving forward, Steam will be supported. We're just keeping our games off PlayStation. So everything's kind of working out how I wanted to. I came home, I booted up my Series X, I got it updated, I downloaded some games because I have save transferring with Steam, and I wanted to play Indiana Jones on my TV. Bam, it's right there on my Xbox down here. So it's just like, well, everything's kind of falling apart in the hardware world. The hardware I already have is integrating and working together with different brands, and it's just awesome. So yeah, I think games themselves are going to be good going forward while we work through these growing pains with hardware. And there's really a lot worse things that could be happening. So that about brings me to the end of the video. As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and shape on.